again, live from Modain. Hanoch Young, just off the touring schedule. And Hanoch, you've been up for a few hours, huh?
Yeah, it's when I do these day tours, it's a 4:30 alarm.
Oh,
And to get it, see, the problem is the timing of the trains.
yeah.
I have to be there at 7:30 near Mamila to
Hmm.
meet whoever the people are. I either take a 6 o'clock minutes, so I have to go an hour earlier. It's
Hmm.
it's a drag.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope
Yeah.
we have one more tour like that next week, and
Okay.
that for that.
Well,
Anyway,
the good news to keep you going is that I've been working on the Connect Israel tour this week. And
yay!
since we have some great weather of lows of 4 and 5 and highs of 19 and 20, that's going to force me to sit at my desk a little bit longer. So we are almost to the point, and I'm still shooting for that January 1st deadline of having it available so people can start sitting in their registrations.
Fabulous. That's great. That's great. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to next year's tour.
Yeah, yeah. So between
And
now and
believe it or
then,
not,
what's going
it's
on?
yeah. What's going on? Well, does Israel have a government? Does Israel not have a government? Elections were November 1st. There's all these backdoor meeting kind of things going on. All the conditions that Netanyahu's coalition partners wanted, they want upfront before the government is formed, because no one trusts him.
Hmm.
It's an amazing concept.
Hmm.
Anyway, so we'll see what's what. Supposedly, Biden said that the U.S. deal with Iran is dead.
Yeah,
But we're talking about someone who doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense when he talks, so you never know what's happening there.
you think?
You
Yeah.
know, and it's interesting because during Hanukkah, I always try to use the time to kind of reset my
Hmm.
own, glasses, if you will. And it's really we're in an amazing situation that Hanukkah being the rededication of the Beit HaMikdash, the temple, and right now, since June 1967, we are living at a time when there is Jewish sovereignty in the land of Israel
Yeah.
and no temple. This is the first time in history that has ever happened.
Well, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting there, my kippah clipped on because my head practically exploded because and then the issue is, well, what will it take for the temple to be rebuilt? And of course, we can point to the practical things like the location of the Dome of the Rock and all these other things, a
Yeah.
billion Muslims. But the real reason is we're not ready for it. And we're
Hmm.
not ready for it because we're not ready for unity.
Hmm.
And it's a fascinating concept when you think about it, because just the other day, yesterday, wow, that was just the other day, I was contacted by our dear friends, Ephraim and Ramona Frank. And we're kind of exchanging messages back and forth on WhatsApp. And what Ramona had said years ago, that if
Hmm.
Israel wasn't the focus of these Hebrew roots messianic groups, they were bound to just drift off and be another denomination.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it right in front of our eyes. It's
Hmm.
amazing.
Well, we take that and
So,
the continued writings of Nachman Kahana, which he's reaching out to, uh, you know, continues to reach out to people in the Galut, the uh, Jews in America and various places, and the call for unity, the call to focus on Israel is going out today. But for the most part, yeah, I would have to agree it's falling on deaf ears.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like throwing good money after
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
you're saying the same things to the same people. I keep coming across people who deal with various Jewish communities, Orthodox Jewish communities in America, and they ask the question of people, why aren't you guys going on Aliyah? Or are you thinking of going on Aliyah? And all of these excuses, well, there's work to be done here. Seriously?
Hmm.
Are you guys doing drugs or what? Uh, how many Jews in America are doing something where you could say, oh my God, their work here is irreplaceable?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's a ridiculous statement. And then they were told, like, well, listen, if your kid is older than 3 years old, you can't go on Aliyah. You have to wait until they're teenagers,
Hmm.
in terms of like adjusting in school. Okay. But if you're talking about a family that has 6 kids, it takes a long time till that young one hits high school or post high
Yeah,
school. I mean,
yeah.
it's a stupid excuse. And just admit, hey, listen, I know it says so in the Torah. I know it says so throughout the Talmud. One who lives in exile is if, he doesn't have a God. I mean, this
Mhm.
is this is our writing. It's there.
Oh, yeah.
But it's kind of like, that doesn't pertain to me. So
Yeah,
so
it's the
it
same
it's
excuse that
all in all, it's a
yeah.
giant sorting out.
Yeah, it's the same excuse that was in Babylon, same excuse that was in Egypt, and, history repeats itself. Those that understand history are able uh, to get their names in the book. I think I said this to the youth the other day at, down in Blue Ridge. When we know history, we're able to be a part of it. And, that's kind of what that's the people we're talking to, is those that desire to make a difference, which is that to me is Hanukkah, is a people that
But
desire to make a difference.
the it's fascinating on these detours with Tourist Israel. So I have people from all over the world. And I often, as I did today 4 times, got the question, so what made you leave New York and go to Israel?
Hmm.
So I said, drop the part about leaving New York. Leaving New York had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I wanted to be part of the destiny of the Jewish people instead of just reading about it in a book.
Mhm.
Everyone who I tell that to who is not Jewish, particularly if they're European, gets it. Says,
Hmm.
wow, that's great.
Okay.
It's the American Jew that I make incredibly uncomfortable. And I
Mhm.
tell them, I'm not judging you. Of course, I've already judged them, but I'm not judging you. I'm talking about for myself.
Yeah. 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 It is. This is where we're at. So, I saw briefly a headline about a soldier in that was where was that at on Israel National? Did you see this? It must be pretty much breaking. A soldier's life saved from explosion by a helmet. Disturbance near Rachel's tomb.
No, no, didn't see that. I was just reading about a motorcycle without license plates was coming up to Machzor, is the main entrance to Beit Lechem. That's
Hmm.
the entrance that we guides used to go through all the
Hmm.
time. Not anymore. Um, and the guy looked suspicious. They closed the entrance, and as they approached him, and he drove erratically, almost hitting a soldier. They fired at him, but he got away. So
Mm.
there's a lot of stuff going on. And of course, Netanyahu allegedly Mr. Law and Order, which he's not. We'll see. We'll see
Hmm.
if I don't see the new government doing anything. It's
So
not a right-wing government.
yeah, is that the yeah, and that's the fallacy. Is the people that you talk to, I mean, what is their attitude toward the government? You guys have gone through
Okay.
all of these elections through the years.
Yeah.
Nothing seems to change. Is there any real, this is going to happen and change things, or is it kind of people just numbed to it's going to remain the same? We got to
Okay.
deal with it.
It's funny because the different ways that you phrase that actually touch upon the same response from a different angle.
Okay.
For the first time in over 13 years as an Israeli, I find people who voted for Netanyahu disgusted.
Hmm.
I mean, elections were November 1st. Why? Where are we today? The 20 what of December?
Yeah, 21st.
21st of December. I mean, he's gotten extensions rate. What's going on?
Hmm.
When I say Netanyahu is not, this is not a right-wing government. The Likud is a centrist party. The ultra-Orthodox parties are not right-wing parties. The only right-wing parties in the government are religious Zionism, B'Tzalel Smotrich, and Itzmai. But Netanyahu has got them in um his little box. He's going to keep his puppies in this. He's going to control. Or you're frozen, or not. I think people who are really wanted a right wing government are already disappointed.
Hmm.
The fact that the ultra orthodox parties are coming into the government, everybody except the ultra orthodox parties are disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, everybody sees we're having
But
some
there's no hope on the horizon.
internet issues again this week. It's just kind of out of our. I don't know what it is. It's just sometimes we go through a couple of weeks and it's bad, and then all of a sudden it clears back up a little.
It's like our government.
It's kind of like everything else in life, Hanoch. You get periods
Yeah.
of time that you think that there's that you think you can kind of understand it, and then all of a sudden it freezes up on you.
Well, that's why, for instance, with the work on Connect to Israel 2023, people say to me, well, why don't you guys have bigger tours? Why don't you guys have multiple buses? Why don't you guys do it repeatedly throughout the year? Because it's one thing where you can set, your goal for the moon. And the reality is we're dealing with the very same people that we all know and love.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me give everybody just a little bit of an idea of where we're at on the tour. And the reason that it's taking quite a bit of time for us to put this together is that we are doing a revamp of a lot of the Connect Israel tour. The main attractions, I use that, such as Moshe and Leah Goldsmith, Yudi Marotz, those are our kind of attractions. The
Yeah.
the proposal tree at Elon Moray, those are places we have to go, but we're trying to add some things, subtract a little bit out right now, and I've been working with those in Israel, on bus and on hotels and everything else. And one of the things that we're trying to do is offer the best accommodations, the best experience we can possibly do, using Israeli owned hotels, using Israeli bus service, is Israeli Jewish bus driver, and of course our own favorite Hanoch Young. We're trying to put all that together and to make it into a package that is is very affordable. And I'm on the edge of that right now, working on that, and I have done some research on various tours online and cannot find any tour out there that's anywhere close to us $1,000, $1,000 more for most tours is what it would be. So we're trying our best to make it as affordable as we can.
Absolutely. No, that's great. That's great. Yeah, people, I hope people are as excited as we are. I
Hmm.
know that there are, pockets of people that I was just in contact with this week in Colorado, as well as our loyalists in Kentucky. Um, of course, we have the fertile ground of Franklin, North Carolina. It's the sky's the limit.
Yeah, we're
Uh,
working on all that. So, well, I know that you've had a long day, so we will let's wish you a happy Hanukkah for the rest of this time that we have. The we'll be lighting. Kathy and I will be lighting our was it fifth night? Is
fourth,
today the fourth night? Okay,
fourth,
getting ahead of myself.
fourth night.
Yeah, fourth night, and we have kids, our son and daughter-in-law, and four grandchildren coming over tonight. So I might need to take a nap myself.
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay. Well, hey, you take care, and
Thanks.
we
Have a
will
great
talk next
Hanukkah,
week
guys.
and
Okay,
see where it goes. Take
you
care, Hannah.
got it. Bye bye.